Hello, 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 and welcome back. I am here again doing more ASMR videos. Sorry, I'm trying to get my audio and my video linked up. I kind of came to the conclusion that I've been somewhat messing up on the syncing of it, and I thought I'd work around clever ways to sync it up to see just to get better at the making of different videos. Hopefully, I'm kind of hoping that someone eventually catches on to what I'm doing with the titles of my episodes. But it's a nice, I believe, Friday morning for myself. It's 10 o'clock. The sun is shining. The day looks beautiful. I would love to be able to go out for a walk, just kind of go around my neighborhood and say hi to the people that are out doing their thing. So today what I'm doing is I'm going to talk through mostly what I've been doing with... Oh, please don't tell me, Gimli. What are you doing? Oh, okay. Sorry, I have a rabbit, and he likes to chew on cardboard louder than a freight train. So what I'm doing right now is I am trying to sketch my fist. So one of the things that when I went to college, we would have to develop sort of a profile or whatever, and the profile was basically just different things we were instructed to draw. But mostly what it really was just us to get comfortable with sketching different things, no matter what it was. One of the easiest things you can draw is merely your own body. So getting just take your hand or your fist, and preferably I ended up doing my right hand. I don't know why. I think it was probably one of the worst things I could have chosen to do. I should have done my left hand so I could draw with my right hand as I looked at my left. But I guess I was sketching from OBS. I was looking at what it looked like on OBS and then just started making it. So far, I got one viewer. I forget what his name is. Ninja ASMR? What is his name? I know I wrote it down here somewhere. I believe it's like Ninja ASMR or something. So thank you for subscribing to me. It's actually really just to have someone subscribing to you on the first day is actually a really good feeling, regardless of even if it you stay around for a while, but it's still really nice to get a sense of accomplishment so early on, no matter how small it is. So right now what I'm doing is I'm trying to get a rough idea of the shape of my fist. So, and another issue that I do, and I'm trying to write down my thoughts and show myself and viewers what some of the issues I do is I draw things too small. I try not to take up the paper, even though we should, as artists, use all of the surface area as best as we can to capture whatever image we have in our minds. Now, in doing so, you have to be okay with getting rid of reference lines. So you want to get rid of the lines that you use to help guide yourself. And it's always okay to erase things. Actually, in fact, if you have lines on the paper, and this is just something that I've noticed that's really helpful, and only just recently have I really been getting into crafting my skill just ever so slightly better. So if you erase reference lines, it actually leaves a small, sort of visible, but not very visible, line on the paper, whether you press down hard into it or not. The nice thing is that it allows you to re-sketch over the line. So right now what I'm trying to get is my forearm. I'm trying to get the shape and where's my hair, where's the tendon that reaches up into the palm of your hand. I don't remember what that's called. Yeah, that thing. I'm actually really happy that my past self remembered to point out what I'm thinking. So, this is episode 3. Just gonna take some time, sip on my coffee. And just enjoy myself as I watch it's so funny because as someone that is making content, the best frame of reference you could pull from for content is yourself. So you end up using a lot of words of I, me, and just a lot because it revolves around you as a content creator, which is something hard for me to get over about myself. I only can speak from my frame of reference whenever I talk to other people because I don't know what everyone else's experience are exactly. So it's easy for me to talk from a place that I understand it from. But the issue being is then you start getting into a territory of constantly talking about yourself. I try not to talk about myself too much. I don't personally I don't like to. Even though it seems like sometimes maybe you have to. In any case, what I'm getting right now is one of the hardest parts to draw for me when dealing with the hands is the joint of the thumb. It's so easy to draw beasts and their feet. So like my rabbit's feet is very, very narrow. It only has claws coming straight out, right? And maybe they'll have a claw further up the leg, but when it comes to us as humans, we have the added benefit of thumbs. Trying to draw that, you have to be able to capture its functionality. What does it do? At least for myself, if I don't, it seems as if I haven't captured its essence properly on paper. So to show I have the hands of someone that works outside, I don't want to talk about what my other job is, but let's just say I build things. And so my hands have quite a bit of meat on them when it comes to specific parts of it. So it's funny because when I clench my fist, to me, my fist looks fat. I'm not that particularly fat, but to me it looks it looks fat to me. I don't know why. So. But as artists, we draw things as they are, as we see them. Right now, I'm trying to get a reference or an idea where our fingers are going to end up being. Because remember, this isn't just a hand that we're drawing, an open palm, but we are drawing a fist. So we have to capture its tightness. We have to capture the stress that we are putting onto our hand as we clench it to see what the folds of our skin looks like. Now, I have a handy dandy list. The song title that I'm planning on going for. Sorry, I had to burp. The song title that I'm going for is... Wait. The title of the episode that I'm trying to go for is You're Working for No One But Me, TAXMAN. Mostly it was kind of funny because I was looking through different different areas to pull inspiration for the titles of my episodes, and ended up actually listening to this song that I pulled inspiration from. But it was actually quite enjoyable to be able to just put on a playlist of whatever nice Beatles music there was, and just enjoy the afternoon. It was raining yesterday, so we were just kind of stuck inside, and I couldn't go out for a walk anyway, so I ended up taking about 2 hours to draw all of this. So luckily I have now content for Monday to upload. And the biggest thing about being a content creator is you have to, one thing I need to work on is adhering strictly to a schedule so that it becomes part of habits, so that people can structure what they do around the people that they enjoy listening to. So if people enjoy listening to me, then they get to have time. And I have to figure out when the best time to upload is. Personally, for me, I don't really care, but I think it might be important as far as like a sort of business aspect of it, to have a schedule, to keep up with a schedule. Or I just go about it however I want to, and just work on it as I go. We'll see. To me, this is just me entertaining myself and doing something that's fun. And if other people enjoy it, then give a like, give a subscribe. Well, probably not give. Offer a like, offer a subscribe, and then make your thoughts known. Leave a comment if you like what I'm doing. Tell me that I'm doing good. If you don't like what I'm doing, then criticize me. We only grow with the level of criticism that we receive. Now, granted, some people's opinions, everyone has opinions, so we can either grow from other people's opinions or just worry about how we handle things. Now, one of the things that actually was tough is because it was raining. A couple of years ago, I forget how many, I accidentally, no, let's not lie about ourselves. I purposely ended up punching a square stock piece of steel. It was an angry spat, and not to take it out on anyone else, but I was operating a piece of machinery and something smacked the back of my head, and it kind of made me a little angry, so to vent my frustration, I thought it was smart to punch something I wouldn't do nowadays, because it's just absolutely ridiculous. Just to lose control over yourself. It's funny to look at myself when I was younger and look how much more of a child I acted, even though it was only a couple more years ago. In any case, I ended up punching the square stock steel, and on my right hand, this second knuckle from my pinky, so that one I'm pointing to, that knuckle I broke all the way into about an inch into my hand. So never ended up, because I'm a guy and I don't like doctors. I decided not to go to a doctor, and of course realistically, I walked myself through it. And what could a doctor do to fix a fracture in your knuckle? Why, stint your finger up? Well, my finger already was hard to move, so why would I move it? Though it did make an interesting crunching sound every time I did move my finger, so that was wild. In any case, it's better now. It's just whenever it rains, it feels like I just have to keep popping the air bubble in the joint or whatever. Oh, sorry. I'm playing with my nail clippers. So right now what I'm doing is, I'm not a fan of guides. So I'm replacing ums, us, and ands with so. What I'm doing right now with the sketches, in order to figure out where everything is, I'm putting down skeletal lines. So you would see it commonly used for when people are making faces. They'll draw a large circle, bring a line down, bring a line to reference where the eyes will be, reference where the nose will be, reference where the mouth will be. I personally don't like doing that, mostly because of the fact that it's too much on the paper for me. When I'm making something, unless I'm going for something very, very specific, I generally let whatever I'm drawing design itself. It sounds weird to say it like that, but I don't have an end goal to what the art will look like, unless I'm doing something like my fist. Oh, sorry, my rabbit's running around my foot. Oh, buddy, what are you doing? Lay down, buddy. Yeah, you. He's a New Zealand dwarf rabbit. His name is Gimli. If you can find out why, good on you. And yes, I actually think it's better than Harry Potter. Though I do like Harry Potter, don't get me wrong. I just think Lord of the Rings is better. There's something about the story that just resonates with me, and is it because of the mythological nature of it? Is it because my beard is getting to that of Gandalf? I don't know. Though there was, I don't know, who's the other white wizard before Gimli, not Gimli, before Gandalf? Was it not Sauron? Is it Sauron? In any case, the first white wizard. There was a metal band that he did voice work for, and it's not something Rhapsody. I forget. In any case, very good actually. Like it was a very fun album to listen to, mostly because I personally enjoy narrative songs and albums. A theme throughout the whole song or a theme throughout the album is personally some of my more favorited stuff. I like to listen to Pink Floyd, but the whole album. The Wall I love The Wall. What I would love to do is be able to I think there was, what was it? Allison? No. It was Wizard of Oz with, was it Dark Side of the Moon? Where if you sync it up, I would love to be able to do that. I'd have to Google search it, but I would love to sync it up and then see how well is it actually. How well does it sync up, just to see it. So I got my list of general things to talk about. I'm talking about the art. Right now, so I'm sketching from the perspective of OBS. So I'm drawing from your perspective, or my perspective now. And if anyone wants to join in, God, that would be great. Message me. I'll set up an email if you guys want to send me art. Man, that would be so cool to be able to see what everyone else is doing. See how, and the best part about it is that if I stay constantly uploading, then, and if people continuously an art class. I was considering trying to add a separate section to this channel for art classes ranging from specific grades. It might be ASMR, it might not, I'm not sure yet, but my nephew and niece they're homeschooled. And no one, well, I don't want to try to pass judgment on their parents or grandparents, but as far as art skills go, like the ability to draw and whatnot, they have a lot of different other talents, but to be able to take what's inside your head and place it onto paper, I was the one in the family that excelled with it, along with someone else I'm not sure if she's still part of the family or if she's not. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know how to classify family very well. No, actually I do. Where is that? I wrote something down it was an idea of mine that was very interesting. Allow me to search for my thoughts. Found them. Yeah, that's right. Friends are the people you can talk about without them there. I mean, good, bad, doesn't matter. You should be able to talk about the people you like. And then friends that you can talk about openly are your family. Now, it may not be something too profound or anything. I don't think that's too profound, but it allows me to understand the relationship of me to other people. And quite frankly, it would actually be really fun if people would talk about me when I'm not there. Or at least I like to think that people enjoy my presence enough to engage, even if it's like, if people would consider like talking behind someone's back, okay, well, is that good or bad talk? Well, does it really matter? If someone is talking about you behind your back, that means that you had enough of an impression on their life, whether it was good or bad, for them to remember you. Now, if Hollywood ever knows anything, is no press is bad press. So why do we get caught up on the negativity of life and just simply enjoy ourselves with other people? Of course, you got people that don't want to find peace within themselves, which is fine. That's absolutely okay, but it's them that make the world interesting. They have a sect of personality that allows you to look at and say, you're interesting. I like you. And then, because there's been people that's done things to me that, like, there was one guy that I knew that I started dating a girl. Now, granted, I'm bad at dating. You can ask my ex. I think I'm a terrible date. But he basically, the second time on Christmas, I found out that she was sleeping around with this guy, the girl that I was starting to date. Man, that emotionally wrecked me for like, God, what was it, like a while? It was a while. Now she has a kid, which thank God she has a kid. Well, depends on how great of a parent she wants to be. But I find children to be the most precious gems of our society. Like, if you would put a ruby the size of a child in front of me, I would still take the child. Because at least the child will become meaning. A rock is just a rock. It's pretty, don't get me wrong. I could sell it for a lot of money. But again, I don't care about money. I think the ability to raise everyone else up is a far more greater experience than Oh, I apologize if it gets a little loud. Gimli is chewing on his Timothy Hay hut thing. Is that right, buddy? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, it's getting picked up. So, right now what I'm showing you is the difference between smaller and larger pencils. How I maneuver pencils around my hand. The larger ones swing, like it has momentum while flipping around on my hand or while I'm moving them around. The smaller ones are easy, they just move. I don't know how else to explain it, but I ended up putting a mark onto the paper from the larger one. Now, a few pointers that are good to point out for when you're making art in whatever sense of the word. The first one is gaining mastery of shapes. What I mean by that is look at specific areas and see how is it shaped compared to the whole. If you can delineate small shapes out of the whole, you can sketch those small shapes so that as you start bringing those shapes closer to what it actually looks like, your picture is going to make a lot more sense. Granted, I am no professional artist. I just enjoy doing it. Granted, most of what I know is for the better part self-taught, so I don't have any actual formal training or anything outside of maybe going to college for one class, but it was the only class I got an A in. I was a C student. I don't like school. I prefer to do my learning in the real world. But one of the things that you can, even if you don't have any formal training, you can still craft your skill. So push yourself. Try to be more, if you're good at drawing something, pick something and try to draw it as the most realistic you can get it to. So, you may not be able to see it, but I was outlining where I believe shadows or throwing shadow onto was important. You can see that right on the second knuckle of my fingers. I was put it right where, I'm not sure what that. So you have the knuckles, then you have the first joints. There's shading specifically from the angle that the light was coming in at. There's a little shading towards us where the knuckle is, which is interesting. Oh, and nails. Nails are very hard to do. So I actually had to make reference lines as to what shape my finger actually goes in, so I can draw a nail appropriate. What are you doing, buddy? In any case, so a couple fun topics I wanted to talk about. A few things that I'm really excited for, and I don't know if it's. I'm kind of excited to actually be able to start streaming and being able to play games while for a meaning, for a purpose, to play, not just for personal enjoyment or personal escapism, but to be able to create content others can enjoy. So, sorry, normally at this point, rabbits normally should be going to bed. So, they're actually more or less nocturnal creatures, but they sleep for a couple hours, run back and forth, and then do little things here and there. But so for some reason today, he is deciding to stay up with me. I'm not sure why. You know what? One of the things that I noticed is having a rabbit as a pet is, so most people have cats or dogs, which are predator pets. My apologies, I had to take a box away from Gimli because he was just ripping it apart. So in any case, when it comes to rabbits, he's looking around like, oh well, now what do I do? I'll give you your box back. Oh no, he's just licking his bed right now. God, why is he so energetic right now? It's wild. So, one of the things about having a prey pet, so what a prey pet is something like, obviously, the herbivores, the prey of the wild, the ones that get feasted upon, not the ones that do the feasting, is that they are very hard to develop bonds with. For a dog or a cat, you have to just simply be the alpha. You have to either exert dominance, or they just might like you. They're they choose whether they want to be around you or not, where with a prey pet, you have to prove to be something worth, or prove to be safe to be around. So with a dog or a cat, you can use some sort of negative reinforcement, whether it's just merely like, not anything harsh, just some sort of reference that if I do X thing, is not right, it's not good. Something to show that peeing on the floor is not a good thing to do. Or, we don't want you to pee on the floor, is more like it. Trying to teach them more human manners, I guess. Please don't pee on the floor in front of our guests. But when it comes to a rabbit, it is entirely different. I had Gimli ever since he was smaller than the palm of my hand. Now, you can see my hands. I don't have particularly small hands, but I also don't have huge hands. But he was still the size of the palm of my hand. I remember holding him and being like, anything I do to you, I literally could break you. And anything that, if I pressed a little too hard, and then so I put him on my lap, and he just sat there. And my family gave me a little, because they were raising rabbits at the time, they gave me some cucumber to give to him. And so I gave it to him, and he sniffed it, and he on my lap was comfortable enough to just eat it. So obviously, I now took him on as a pet, and I learned quite a lot from having, well, he's technically my first pet, so he's my pet. He's not anyone else's pet. A lot of kids have pets, but it's their parents are the one that takes care of them. For Gimli, it was I have to take care of him, because if I don't, he will die. It was a great learning lesson, or life lessons, to be able to experience. So, He's doing good. Oh, I talked about before he sprained his ankle. He's putting more weight on it now, almost to a point where I don't see him limping anymore. I'm pretty sure he just jumped off the couch, hit the ground at a weird angle, and sprained his leg a little bit and just needed to take it a few days easy. Plus, on top of that, I'm trying to make sure that his diet is appropriate, so I'm not feeding him too many pellets, that he has 100% access to any sort of Timothy hay. I found out recently that, they love bananas, by the way. They absolutely love bananas. So, going back to the art, right now what I'm trying to do is get an idea of, so actually right around there is when I think I end up pausing the video because I was looking for whatever that tool is that is able to determine diameter. It looks like you always see it for the best engineering awards for automotive companies. Is that it's like a clamp. It looks like clamps, but it's actually to measure the distance of things. And I was planning on going and getting that and actually measuring the width of my yeah, that's when I leave. I wanted to measure the width of my, what is it? Why am I having wrist? And so I couldn't find it, so I just scrap it, work on something else until I can feel comfortable. Also, another thing, I don't think I bring the camera up. I don't think I bring the image up to the camera when I start drawing my body hair, which is very interesting to draw your own body hair, because then you kind of realize, wow, I'm hairy as crap. No, my bad. I'm very, very hairy. So, let's see, what else? Oh, there's one thing, something interesting is I had to figure out, so my father and his sect of the family owns property now. He ended up building up his house, selling it, and was able to purchase vast amounts of land in Tennessee. And I'm so happy for him. And he really needed something like that, something to get away from the monotony of trying to own a house, sustain a house, keep it going, and stuff like that. And originally he only had 2 acres and stuff like that, but now he has property. He's able to basically build and do whatever he wants to, especially with they're very loose with building on your own land in Tennessee. At least I think so. Don't quote me on that. I know he went down there for the taxes. He was paying, I think, in property tax was like, God, I think like $3,000. No. Well, combinate, I forget how much. I just know then where we live, the state that we live, I'm not going to mention that. Property taxes are killer. They are unrealistically high, at least in relationship to other states, where you look at Tennessee and you start to wonder why exactly is our property taxes in PA so great, while you can literally go to another state and be like, well, they're doing okay on the taxes that they're bringing in. Well, why are our taxes so high? And we have the worst roads. It's actually to the point of being the joke. Like, this isn't right. So now he has his own property, and then, this was so cool. He has 2 waterfalls on his property. Now, for me, I love nature. I love trying to build in harmony with nature, because for one thing, we can't control nature. We think we can, you can't. You have to allow nature to exist as it does, and we cannot merely just adapt to it. So, for instance, one of the things of us not working with nature is there's a poultry factory that's just up the one of his streams. So he has 4 streams on his land. One of them is contaminated with E. coli because of a chicken farm. So one of the things that I'm trying to develop is a means for E. coli to be pulled out of the water naturally. So meaning that you create an ecosystem. I kind of gained the idea from Life in Jars and other ecotarianists, or like just understanding how ecosystems develop and understanding how ecosystems can thrive in a specific section, like a specific way. So what I was thinking about was, first, I have to understand what E. coli does. How does it, what is it, what does it do, how bad does it get, what is the factors in which I am working with. So I had to research how E. coli works. Surprisingly, I found out actually it's not that bad. It's probably the equivalent of a bad stomach cold. And that's about it. And I mean, don't get me wrong, that can be bad, but I'm talking about in relation to me, to my health, to what I understand. And so far, I've eaten rotten beef before and was fine and had no issue, but I also try to gain mastery and understanding of fields that some people would require you to have a degree in, but I don't like school. I find it a waste of time. But in any case, one of the things I found out about the E. coli bacteria is that you can actually have E. coli bacteria in water only up to a specific amount before it actually becomes dangerous. So weirdly enough, you can actually have an E. coli bacteria in it, but as long as it's moving, it doesn't matter to you too much. Or at least maybe that's how it works. In any case, what I found out was all you need is swamp white oak planted next to the stream, and so that the leaves from the oak fall into the water, drift to the bottom, or collect. So it creates a food source for a specific microbe. Is it a microbe, which is the small microscopic creature? I think isn't shortened to microbe. I don't know. In any case, there's this particular microbe that thrive on that particular substance. Now, granted, I don't know how to introduce that microbe and what other ramifications could come from introducing that microbe to it. But what it does do is creates something to consume the E. coli bacterial. Plus, on top of that, you can actually craft so the idea I had for it was, as the water comes into the property, from where the property line is, a section of that river, customly design it so that it flows naturally, but has these trees and has the area for it to collect, for these microorganisms to colonize in, so that they can consume the E. coli out of the water, purifying it naturally, so that the rest of the water that comes from that is pure drinking water. Now, granted, my dad made a point of, well, I have 3 other streams, why should I worry about the 4th stream that just has E. coli in it? I shouldn't worry about it too much. Well, one of the arguments I have against that is, why shouldn't we worry about it? If it's as easy to not worry about it as it is easy to worry about it, there's more benefit for others if we take care of it, right? If we build something, because that stream, I imagine, doesn't stop in his property. I imagine that I'd have to talk to him more about it, but I'm fairly certain that stream passes through your property to other people's property. So that means that because of that chicken farm, that's a stream that will have to be avoided. Why? Because of chicken farm? No. Let's take care of what we can for our children of today and the children of our children's tomorrow. If it's as simple as planting a few trees next to a river, just do it. It's not that hard. And it will be beneficial for more than just yourself. It'd be nice if... No. But it would be nice that... because that might end up becoming clean drinking water for another person's property, right? It's just a thought. And there's also, I have to make I want to be able to design these cots that fold out of the wall and then become the equivalents of bunk beds, but are able to fold back into the wall so that it's an empty room. I think that would be actually really cool. Though I have to sketch it up, which actually I might do that and use that as material for content. I think that would be pretty fun. There's also, so right now what we're working, I am so happy. You have no idea. I don't think anyone, right now, if this is out of sync, I apologize, but right now what I'm trying to show is the arm hair that I started drawing on my fist, which, by the way, this is going to end up being 2 parts. This whole endeavor ended up becoming like a 2-hour process, so I figured I'd use the second hour of the sketch drawing, the drawing of the sketch, the sketching, me, the master of words, for Monday. But for right now, I have a friend that's working on learning how to create music, basically. And not via like an instrument, but via some sort of fruity program. I forget. In any case, he has a program that allows him to custom design tones and all this sort of stuff. I have no idea really what's going on. It's just so neat. It's so cool. Because there's this one particular sound that I really enjoy. It's, if you know what I mean by Overlord Season 3's opening. It has that spooky skeleton sent shivers down my spine. It has this almost like, obviously it's like some sort of piano, but it's like just Halloween style bang. I just like this, that sound is so neat. I just think it's such a, I don't hear it a whole lot in other songs, and it only has like one particular purpose, and it's to emphasize pseudo scary. I love horror. I love the creative imagination of man in all aspects, whether that it be divine or the most horrific creature you could possibly conceive. It's like Slender Man, like SCP, everything. I love cosmic horror. I actually am working, well, not really working on it, but I have a comic that I'm trying to develop, but I also have an anime that I'm trying to develop because I just want to create. I want to, and I'll pull whatever resources I need to in order to see my vision through. Now, the beauty of it is, if I continue doing exactly what I'm doing and being exactly who I am, I think it's possible. And even if it's not, just even if I don't achieve my vision perfectly, as long as I work towards it, I think everything will work out. I don't need to worry about if I will fail or if I will succeed. I think the process of being able to do something is awesome. Plus, also, if it means other people become more aware of the potential within themselves, that is more of a gift to me than anything else. I just want to see people succeed finally. And God, future's so bright I can't even stand to look at it. In any case, so it's getting closer to the time that's over. I got about 4 more minutes. So let's talk more about art. So the nice thing with being okay, so I'll be honest with you, the whole time I was doing that, I was actually clenching my fist. So my hand starts shaking, and I'm trying to show you a relationship of 2 parts of my hand to one of the creases in my thumb. Now that's a very particular triangle shape. Now if I take 2 points of that fist, yep, I show it again. In relation to what? You can recreate that triangle, and if that triangle, or if the shape that you use in order to gauge what you're making allows you to better define the image, make it more realistic, it makes it look nicer. Right now I'm starting to get into the shading process, which luckily what's nice is my entire other half of this art project is mostly just all shading. So if that's something that you want to do, then you'll get to see some of the ways that I go about it. Granted, I was trying to clench my fist while my knuckle was basically felt like it was hurting because of the rainstorm. Sort of like when an old woman has bunions. Have you ever heard of that? Where, a rain's coming. Well, how can you tell? My bunions are acting up. There's actually 2 injuries on my body that I wonder if I'll be able to get it to heal if I use a rodent coil and play 432. I wonder. Now that's something I need other people for, and it doesn't matter too much. But we should never be afraid to try. Because if we stop trying, we stop changing, we stop growing. We should always keep trying. When we stop trying, I think is when we start dying. Stop expanding ourselves, stop growing, we stop achieving goals. Like, I'll be honest with you, I have zero intentions of retiring. And I also have zero intentions of letting the younger generation do my job. I want to be around for a long, long time. I want to see kids grow, become older, start their own family. But then again, I also, I want 15 kids too. I want to, if I'm gonna do something big, I might as well do it the biggest, greatest possible level of whatever I can achieve. I've never been one for anything small. Small is making your bed in the morning. Small is choosing what to eat. That's not me. Alright, we're at the end of the video. Everyone, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much. Goodbye. And Godspeed.